Hey everybody, Matt Covey from Suburban Canine. Today I'm here to talk to you about how to socialize your new puppy. And I say new puppy, what I also mean is young puppy. So this video, we're going to talk about how to socialize an 8-week-old dog. This is Canute, he's about 14 weeks old. He's still pretty young, he's still in his critical socialization window. Dogs have a period, it's from roughly 8 to 16 weeks of age. We call it their critical socialization period or critical socialization window. That's when they need socialized. During that time, their brain's like a little sponge. It's soaking up all the information in the world around them. If they're not socialized during that time and the window shuts, raising a well-adjusted dog is hard. So we recommend working really hard during this time frame. You need a well-thought-out socialization plan, and you need to think about who you're socializing with, dogs, people, places, all of that, which we're going to jump into in this video. And you need to think about where you're doing your socializing. You have to make smart decisions. Today, with a very young dog like this, who's not fully vaccinated, we're going to be socializing here in a nice, quiet suburban neighborhood. We're not going to a dog park. We're not going somewhere crazy. We're going to head right outside and get started. As I mentioned, we're going to start our socializing in a nice, quiet, calm neighborhood. The reason for that is the risk of parvo and distemper. I am not taking them to a dog park. I'm not going to a pet store. To me, that's too big of a risk. A nice, quiet neighborhood, the risk is very low. It's important your dog meets about 100 people within their first 12 weeks. This is not hard as long as you're out often meeting new people. If you're waiting for them to come to you, though, it might not happen, so you have to work really hard at this. I like to work as much as I can on my terms with people I know. Anytime you're in public, you always stand the risk of someone doing something silly, scaring your dog. Your puppy sometimes will chew on a leash like that. Your puppy can get scared at a young age, and that's a big problem. So I don't want someone who's gonna grab him and pick him up or get too much in his face. I want to ease into it as I get to know his personality. So anytime I can work with a friend, coworker, family member, I'm always gonna start there. Holly, do you want to come say hi?
Yeah.
So here we have Holly today. She's gonna say hi to Mr. Canute. And generally I'd give the person a lot of guidance. What I would say is just kind of crouch down, talk to him. Please don't pick him up, pet him.
Oh, thank you.
If he wanted to climb into her lap, that'd be fine, but I don't want her picking him up. We just want nice, calm introductions like this. You can see he's biting a little bit. All I would do to stop that is reach out if I needed to and grab the collar or use the leash and give him a little tug and tell him no so he knows that's not allowed. But I want nice, calm intros like this. They don't need to be super long. This is not bad, right? He got distracted by something else. He's a puppy. That's normal. I would say, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I would start walking and off we go down the road. We're looking for that to happen at least 100 times by the time they're 12 weeks old. I'm looking for them to meet men, women, children, big men, little people, people with beards, whatever, everything. You want people that look differently from each other. If your dog is always meeting men, the first time they see a woman or a child, they could have a problem with that. So looking for all kinds of different people during this process. So I want to talk a little bit more. I mentioned earlier we pick a nice, calm, quiet neighborhood like this because of the risk of parvo and distemper. What can happen, very often your vet might tell you, don't socialize your dog until they're fully vaccinated. And in theory, that sounds pretty smart, right? You wait until they're fully vaccinated. Here's the problem. Your dog is fully vaccinated at 16 weeks, and when does that socialization window shut? 16 weeks. That's an issue, right? They shut at the same time. You don't really have an option, in my opinion, of waiting until they're fully vaccinated. What it means is you have to make smart decisions. So I said earlier, no dog park. Not a chance am I going to the dog park with a young dog like this. Too easy for him to get scared, but also just too much of a risk of him getting sick. The odds of parvo and distemper, it's pretty low, the odds of them getting it, but if they get it, they're very dangerous and can be deadly. So I'm making smart decisions. I'm socializing in a neighborhood like this. We're going to socialize with dogs in a few minutes here. I'll show you what that looks like, but I'm not going to meet a strange dog if I don't know where they've been. So if that dog's just been at doggy daycare at the dog park, that's too big of a risk to me because they could have parvo and distemper on their fur, so we do want to avoid that. But if it's a healthy dog that hasn't been in that scenario, I'm going to do an introduction at that point. And I just go safe places with my dog. So a lot in the neighborhood. I will take him to Home Depot because there hasn't been a ton of dogs there, but I won't go to PetSmart or Petco, any place where a lot of dogs have been. I'll go to friends' homes, just anywhere you can think of that you're going to be able to see people, see a couple dogs, but not see massive groups and certainly not lots and lots of dogs. So as we start to socialize with other dogs, it's crucial you take care of your dog, not just from getting sick, but you also make sure they don't get hurt or scared. At this age, if a dog were to try to bite him, even if he's not physically injured, it can terrify him beyond belief. And really, you can see he's biting his leash here. Hey, no, normal puppy stuff. He's probably bored. He's like, you're talking too long, let's move. We'll start the dog socializing in just a second, but we need friendly dogs. That's important. If the dog were to snap at him, it could set him back, and you could have a dog who's now kind of terrified or a little bit aggressive with dogs for the rest of his life. So watch it carefully at this age. Luckily, I have a great dog with us here today. Holly's going to come back in the scene here with Anakin, and this is who we're going to introduce Mr. Canute to. Hey, bud, come here. You want to say hi? So Anakin is calm. That's key. If Anakin was crazy, we would not do the intro. So if Anakin was pulling on leash, jumping and barking, and this kind stranger said, hey, he can say hi, I would say, no thank you, and I would just keep moving. I want a dog like this. Anakin is not going to scare him. So there we go, Anakin smelling him. Canute will get a chance to smell it. I don't know if you can see right now, but he's smelling Anakin. Normal dog stuff. You don't have to do a long intro. This could be enough. So Anakin's perfect, so we could easily hang out here for 20 or 30 minutes and chat. That would be fine. But this is already a great intro, so there'd be nothing wrong with saying, it was super great to meet you. I love your fluffy dog.
See you later.
And off we go. So we've touched on this in some of our other videos. Hopefully you've been watching them. You don't even have to do an intro with every dog in order to socialize your puppy. Even walking by that dog and encouraging good behavior is enough. So let's say you're in a hurry and you're passing a dog. You don't have to stop and say hi. Just walking your puppy by them, keeping them on leash, and them getting to see that dog, understand the dog's not a threat, other dogs exist in the world, that's much better than nothing. So that's always an option as well. I mentioned earlier we need to socialize with people and with dogs. One thing I didn't talk about was socializing in different environments. Now, of course, we're keeping them safe. We're not doing dog parks, things like that. But if I only spend my time in this beautiful, quiet neighborhood, he's going to think this is the world, right? Everything is like this, and of course, it's not. So I do want to make sure I'm exposing him to new environments and new sights and sounds. I want him to see buses. I want him to see trains. I want him to see cars. If you always work, we haven't had a car pass in the 10 minutes we've been out here, right? So he might start to think that's what the world is like, and it's not. So I'm going to take him on, kind of busier roads. He's eating a dandelion. I'm going to take him on busier roads. I'm going to take him, I want him to see everything he's going to see in his normal life. You don't have to do it all today. You don't have to do it all this week. Create a socialization plan. Between 8 and 16 weeks, that's a long time, right? You've got roughly 8 weeks to do this, but you want to get them to a downtown area with buses and trains. You want to take them to the park to see children. You want to kind of build up to that, of course. So we start our first couple days in an area like this, and then each day and each week we just kind of up the distraction level a little bit until pretty soon he's able to go anywhere and have fun. All right, we are back inside after our first foray into socializing. What I want to leave you with today is make a plan. We already talked about all the pieces of the plan. Write this stuff down. Don't just wing it. It's very easy to forget about what you did, what you haven't done. Come up with a plan, write it all down every single day, check off what you've done so you don't get to 16 weeks old and realize, you know what? I never introduced him to a big dog or a small dog or a fluffy dog. Write it all down, make it happen. It's not that hard as long as you're working on it every single day. I hope this is helpful to you. Watch all of our other videos. We've got a lot of great content out there to help you raise the perfect puppy.